And so that just leaves us with the number one anime that I've watched. Now, guys, don't get mad. Like I said, this is my list. I'm not trying to say that whatever you would think is your number one anime is not better than this. It's just my what I prefer. And so on number one, it has to be The Seven Deadly Sins. It is a recent anime, I think. I think it was 2013. It might have been 2015, but I'm not sure. It is a Netflix original, and it's an interesting storyline. So, I've watched a lot of shows having to deal with either the Seven Deadly Sins or something to the perspective of God, or something relating to the Bible. Death Parade is one of the other ones, which that one was number 10 because it was pretty gruesome, so I had to put it on number 10. Don't watch it if you can't stand the sight of gore, because it's very gory. But this one was very unique. Now, I like this one. I like these Seven Deadly Sins better than the ones in Fullmetal Alchemist. The ones in Fullmetal Alchemist were okay, but the personalities were too much like their sins. Do you know what I mean? It was just too predictable of how they would react and how they acted. And that's why I like this one. Because even though they've been marked with these Seven Deadly Sins, they don't actually, their personalities don't actually match with it. And there's another one, but it's not about Seven Deadly Sins. It's about the Seven Virtues. It's called Chrono Crusade, but I did not like that one because basically all the main characters die. I really dislike when that happens. I mean, if they didn't die, it probably would have been on this list, but unfortunately all the main characters died. Well, most of them. Only one person survived out of all the main characters, and it was terrible. So in this one, the Seven Deadly Sins, which are basically what were known as Holy Knights, I believe. Yes, Holy Knights. So they were the 7 best Holy Knights of a certain empire. And they were cursed or marked with the 7 deadly sins based on things that happened in their past. And they were accused of trying to overthrow the kingdom. But this was all just a conspiracy, and none of that was true. But they had to go into hiding until several years later, and if I'm not mistaken, it was 10 years later, a girl named Elizabeth goes in search of the 7 deadly sins, and the first one that she meets is Meliodas, which is the dragon Sin of Wrath, and he is actually the captain of all the 7 deadly sins, and he is the strongest. It's very interesting though, because they go on a search to find all the 7 deadly sins. Of course they don't find all of them, because they're actually making a second season, which I am looking forward to. What they haven't found yet is the Sin of Pride, but I'm sure that guy's going to be awesome, because from what I heard, he can literally destroy his opponents with just his presence alone. But it all depends on the time of day, because basically his powers work with sunshine. When the sun reaches its peak at noon, he's at his strongest. When the sun is down and the moon is out, he's at his weakest. And I can't wait for that. But Meliodas is the strongest out of all of them, and so while they're gathering the 7 deadly sins, well, 6 out of the 7 deadly sins, you find out a lot about their past, and they are all very different from their sins. Like the one in the back named King, he's the little kid in the background. He is supposed to be the sin of sloth, but he's actually not that lazy. Vaughn is the sin of envy. No, envy? I believe greed, but he's not greedy ever. Deanne, which is that girl in the background, she is the sin of envy, but, well, actually, she actually does have a personality that fits her sin. But Meliodas, his personality only fits his sin when he goes into rage mode, in which case he actually does make his enemy feel his wrath. But other than that, he's a really nice guy, and he's mostly a pervert. But other than that, it's very interesting. You should watch it, and I hope you guys liked this video on my top 10 anime. And if you think I should have added something else, then feel free to comment below. And no, I'm not talking about One Piece, Naruto, none of those. Those don't make my top 10 list because those are long running series, so that'll be another episode, and those don't count for this one. These are just short animes that have 25 episodes or less. And so thank you for watching, and please leave your comments below.
What did she say? What you say? That you only meant well, 'cause you did. What you say? Jason Derulo.